What happens when a nation decides to back its currency with gold in today's volatile global economy? This question sparks curiosity and skepticism alike, as history is dotted with the rise and fall of gold-backed financial systems. But why is this concept catching eyes now? In an era of digital currencies and fluctuating markets, the idea of anchoring a nation's economic faith to gold appears both archaic and innovative. Amidst this global backdrop, Zimbabwe has made a bold leap. The country, rich in mineral wealth but plagued by economic challenges, has introduced a new currency tied directly to one of its most valuable assets, gold. This move by Zimbabwe is not just a financial decision. It's a statement, a bid to stabilize and invigorate their economy through a trusted, tangible asset. As the world watches, one wonders, will this golden strategy be the panacea Zimbabwe hopes for? Now let's delve into the historical path that led Zimbabwe to this golden crossroads. Zimbabwe, a country once flourishing, later entangled in a web of international sanctions. The roots of these sanctions trace back to the early 2000s, when the world began to take note of significant political controversies and human rights violations within the country. The focal point of international concern was the government's land reform program, which involved the forceful redistribution of land from white farm owners to black indigenous Zimbabweans. While the intent was to rectify historical injustices, the execution was marred by violence and mismanagement, leading to widespread condemnation. As a result, several countries imposed stringent sanctions on Zimbabwe, targeting key individuals in the government and restricting trade with state-owned companies. These sanctions, intended to pressure the government to change its policies, inadvertently sent ripples through the economy. They isolated Zimbabwe from much of the global financial system, exacerbating already existing economic challenges. The effects were profound and immediate. The country, once known for its robust agriculture and manufacturing sectors, saw these industries crumble. Foreign investment dried up, and international aid was sharply curtailed. The government's revenue streams were choked off, leading to an inability to support its currency. This economic isolation fueled hyperinflation, which peaked in late 2008 when the annual rate was estimated in billions of percent, rendering the Zimbabwean dollar virtually worthless. With an economy brought to its knees, Zimbabwe had to think outside the box, or perhaps inside the vault. In the shadows of economic chaos, a powerful entity thrived, the gold mafia. As Zimbabwe grappled with international sanctions and a plummeting economy, an underground network of illegal gold miners and traders sprang into action. These operations, often nestled deep within the country's rich landscapes, not only extracted significant quantities of gold but also established a parallel economy. This clandestine industry flourished, largely due to the desperation of local communities and the high global demand for gold. The miners, many of whom were locals turned outlaws, dug into the earth, sometimes under the cover of darkness, to pull out their golden fortunes. The trade of this precious metal became a lifeline for many, yet it operated outside government regulation, leading to massive financial leaks and lost revenues. Political figures and influential players allegedly entwined with these networks saw their fortunes swell. This interplay between politics and illicit gold trading created a complex web that influenced significant policy decisions. This murky backdrop set the stage for a radical financial pivot. Enter the new protagonist, Zimbabwe's gold-backed currency. In a bold move to stabilize its economy and regain financial independence, Zimbabwe has introduced a new currency that is backed by one of its most valuable natural resources, gold. This innovative approach aims not just to restore trust in the national currency, but also to fortify it against the volatility that has plagued Zimbabwean finance for decades. The mechanics of this new currency are straightforward yet ingenious. For every unit issued, there is a corresponding value in gold held as reserves. This means the currency is not just a piece of paper, but has tangible backing that can be redeemed in gold. By tying the currency directly to a physical asset, Zimbabwe hopes to combat the hyperinflation that previously decimated its financial system. The government's strategy is clear: to leverage Zimbabwe's extensive gold reserves, estimated to be one of the largest in Africa, to ensure the currency's stability and reliability. This move is expected to attract more foreign investment, as investors are likely to have increased confidence in a currency secured by gold. Moreover, it could potentially simplify trade and investment transactions by providing a more predictable and stable monetary unit. But the introduction of this gold-backed currency is not just about economics. It's about national pride and autonomy. After years of economic challenges and international sanctions, this new currency symbolizes a hopeful step towards economic sovereignty and resilience. But will this golden strategy glitter for all, or only for a select few? Every coin has two sides. So, who really benefits from Zimbabwe's gold-backed currency? Zimbabwe's introduction of a gold-backed currency is heralded by some as a masterstroke in economic strategy, potentially stabilizing the nation's financial system and restoring trust in its monetary policies. Yet, the gleam of gold brings with it a shadow, raising questions about who really stands to gain from this new fiscal era. The promise of the gold-backed currency is that it could anchor inflation, which has historically plagued Zimbabwe, leading to skyrocketing prices and economic instability. By tying the currency's value to a tangible asset like gold, the government aims to foster economic stability and attract foreign investment. This could potentially benefit all Zimbabweans by creating jobs, improving infrastructure, and enhancing overall economic growth. However, there is a palpable concern that this new system may disproportionately benefit those already entrenched in power and wealth, particularly the elites with vested interests in the gold industry. These individuals and entities could manipulate the market and control gold resources, thereby consolidating their economic dominance while the general populace sees limited improvement in their daily lives. Moreover, the effectiveness of the gold-backed currency in fostering broad-based economic growth hinges on transparent and equitable governance, which has been a challenge in Zimbabwe's past. The potential for corruption and elite capture of gold resources could skew the benefits towards the wealthy, leaving ordinary citizens marginally better off, if at all. As the new currency circulates, the balance of economic power is poised for a shift. Will it lead to a genuine economic renaissance for Zimbabwe? Or will it simply reinforce the existing disparities between the rich and the poor? Only time will tell. What do the streets of Harare whisper about the gold-backed notes? In the bustling markets and quiet corners of Zimbabwe, the new currency stirs a pot of mixed emotions among its citizens. On one hand, there's optimism. Take Tendai, a small business owner who sees the gold-backed currency as a beacon of stability. For years, we've grappled with inflation that made our money almost worthless, he explains. Now, there's hope that this new currency will retain its value, boosting both confidence and business. However, not everyone shares Tendai's optimism. Chipo, a local teacher, expresses a common fear. It's a promising idea, but what about us, the ordinary folk? Will we truly benefit, or will this just widen the gap between the rich and the poor? She questions, her voice tinged with skepticism. Indeed, the streets of Harare are alive with these discussions, reflecting a nation at a crossroads, hopeful yet cautious. The true measure of this golden endeavor will be its reflection in the daily lives of Zimbabwe's people. As Zimbabwe charts a course through uncharted financial waters, the world watches keenly. We've navigated through the turbulent history of sanctions that stifled Zimbabwe's economic potential, and the shadowy influence of the gold mafia that both powered and plagued the nation's resource sector. Amidst these challenges, the introduction of a new currency backed by gold stands as a beacon of potential change. This new currency seeks to stabilize Zimbabwe's economy, promising a shield against hyperinflation and a step towards financial autonomy. But the road is fraught with questions. Will this initiative lead to an economic renaissance, or will it merely bolster the wealth of the already rich, leaving ordinary Zimbabweans behind? From the bustling markets of Harare to the quiet fields beyond, the voices of the local people reflect a mix of hope and skepticism. Their perspectives are as varied as the landscape of the country itself. Will Zimbabwe's golden gamble pave the way for prosperity, or is it a glittering promise with hidden perils? Only time will tell.